Welcome to another Whiskey Games and Nerd Stuff. Today's whiskey is Jack and Jack, and today's nerd stuff is we're going to discuss Absolute Martian Manhunter, issue number 1. Let's go ahead and take a sip. Gotta love that. Warning, there will be spoilers. Now, really wasn't sure what to expect with this particular issue. I wasn't sure where they were going to go with this. And I'm just going to come out and say it right off the bat. I love this issue. I didn't know what to expect going into it. Wasn't sure where it was going. And the ending I thought was phenomenal. I will not spoil the ending, but we'll kind of go up to it. But I'm going to recommend you go out and get this issue, and you can find out yourself. So, first of all, I've got to say I love the art on here. The art, as I go through this issue, gives me that old Doctor Strange vibe. And I really like that. So it starts off with John kind of just talking to himself. And obviously there was an explosion of some kind. And then you go through and you see that this agent, who's John, is kind of somebody, you can't tell if he's talking to himself or if somebody's talking to him. And then you see kind of this image. And here, let me go ahead and move this drink a bit. Actually, let's take a drink. So you see this image, and he's talking to the doctor, and again, I can't tell, is he talking to himself? Is the doctor talking to him? Is somebody else talking to him? But you kind of see this stuff where there's an explosion, and they talk about smoke. They don't say fire, but they are talking about the smoke. So, and I do love the coloring of this. And before we get too far, the writer was, and hopefully I don't mispronounce this name, is it Deniz Camp? And art is Javier Rodriguez. Love this layout of this. So then you go out, he goes out of the hospital and you see all these people smoking. There's some really interesting dialogue in here, which I'd highly recommend. You see where there's a lighter and he lights it, and you keep getting these colors in here, and the colors will come into play. And I don't want to spoil it, but I kind of like how they bring in this little art style in here. So then you find out that he's an agent for Bureau. They just had the explosion yesterday. He says that he can go ahead and go back to service. You kind of see all this different coloring. You see him as eating a sandwich. Really not sure where it's going, but the dialogue, and I don't want to read the dialogue. It just kind of gets into that you can slowly, it's peeling back the layers like an onion. Really enjoy it. Then he goes back to the scene of where the explosion was. And then he's kind of talking to himself like, why do people do things? Why do people behave certain ways? And he's trying to figure out why can he uncover why he knows things. So I'm not sure what happened at this point. You kind of see this where this explosion happened, and now it's almost like he's reading people's thoughts or almost sensing what's going on. And you see all this color shifting and all these color patterns, which is very interesting. And then he goes and talks to his son, and his son's like, hey, there's mom and dad, or sorry, there's me and mom, and he says, where are you? And then the son points to this little figure right here, which is very interesting. So then you kind of see him go out. He's seeing these colors again. He kind of talks about all these different things that happen. And again, I'm intentionally not going into the dialogue because it's like, again, it's peeling like an onion layer, peeling an onion where you get those layers and layers and layers. And he's just trying to uncover what's going on. He keeps alluding to smoke and what's going on. And then you kind of see this stuff where he spews out all this different rainbow-ish color smoke. And then everybody is smoking, right? Everybody has different colors. He's kind of just talking about how nobody seems to notice. He's trying to figure out what's going on. And then let's go ahead and flip a few more pages. Actually, let's take a drink. And you see this vibrant colors in here. He's telling them to breathe the smoke. He's telling them to, just breathe it in and accept it. And then it kind of goes to the explosion again. He's talking to himself. and just really cool dialogue. And then this is where I thought was like one of the best things in comics I've read in a long time. So he goes through, and he's saying, remember, and then you got this. This is the part that I'll talk about. And he says, "It's not a miracle. It's me. It's us. Who are you? Mind, hunt, kill, save, redeem, healer. Now you, through the smoke, remember, look." And what's really cool is on the back of here, there's a thing on here that reminds me of like the old Mad magazines from, the 80s and 90s. I want to say it was the 80s and 90s. Message to my fellow Martians. To activate your Martian vision, please take page 25 of the comic book in your hands and hold it up to the light. Use a lamp, a reading light, or the sun itself. It's up to you. See the diagram for details. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take this page and you hold it up to the light, and then you're going to see what's on the other side. Now, when you flip it over, you'll see something, but you can't read it. It's backwards. But if you hold it up to the light, it'll show what it says. And I thought that was pretty damn cool. Again, this is one of those things where, I didn't know what to expect going into this issue. I was very surprised. It had me hooked. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes. I will definitely get the next couple of issues. And I even enjoyed, this is one of those comics that I enjoyed more the second and third read. Now that I kind of knew what was happening with that first issue, this is definitely one where you're going to go back and read a couple times because you feel like there's a lot being said there. There's a lot going on. I think they did a fantastic job. Would highly recommend it. And until next time, folks, cheers.